There are symbols that pass through history almost unnoticed, mere decorations on old buildings, or curious marks on coins and rings. But some symbols refuse to fade. They appear again and again, whispered about in stories, shown in movies, even tattooed onto the skin of the famous. The square and compass is one such symbol. Simple, geometric, yet charged with meaning. And for centuries it has not only shaped the secret traditions of Freemasonry, but also touched the lives of some of the world's most celebrated names. What draws great men and women, artists, musicians, presidents, athletes, to the square and compass? Is it a code, a badge, a superstition? Or is there a spiritual power within its lines, quietly guiding those who seek to build not just careers, but character and destiny? Before we reveal the secret stories behind this symbol, don't forget to subscribe to Secret Signs Society. Here, we search for the truth behind the world's most mysterious signs, always hidden in plain sight. The spiritual roots. Building the self at its core, the square and compass is about balance. The square represents the earth, the foundation, our actions. The compass stands for the heavens, our dreams, and the higher values that call us to something more. But for centuries, those who entered the Masonic Brotherhood found in these tools a code for life. Act with integrity, aspire with faith, and let your work reflect the best within you. Many celebrities who wore the square and compass did so not only as a mark of brotherhood, but as a daily reminder. Greatness means nothing if your foundation is crooked. No matter how famous, all are called to build lives of truth. But these aren't just ideas. Let's see how this symbol changed the lives of some of the most recognizable figures in history. Founding Fathers and the Legacy of Light. Few know that Benjamin Franklin, inventor, diplomat, writer, and one of the architects of the United States, was a dedicated Freemason. Franklin joined St. John's Lodge in Philadelphia in 1731, and later served as Grand Master. The square and compass appears throughout Franklin's writings, not as a mark of conspiracy, but as a guide to self-improvement and service. He once wrote, "Masonic labor is purely a labor of love. He who seeks to draw wages in gold and silver will be disappointed. The wages of a Mason are earned and paid in their dealings with one another." Franklin's pursuit of balance, between science and faith, freedom and order, shaped the founding of a nation and continues to inspire millions. He believed that true greatness began within. Musicians who sought harmony. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, one of the greatest composers in history, was initiated into a Masonic lodge in Vienna in 1784. For Mozart, music and Masonry were intertwined. His final opera, The Magic Flute, is filled with Masonic symbolism, from the threefold knocks to the trials of water and fire. Mozart saw the square and compass as a map for the soul, and even wrote Masonic funeral music, believing that the spirit and the arts are united in their quest for light. Nat King Cole, the velvet-voiced American jazz legend, was also a proud Mason, finding in the Brotherhood a sanctuary from the prejudice and difficulties he faced as a black musician in a divided America. Cole often wore a ring with the square and compass on stage, subtly communicating his faith in equality, unity, and the search for inner balance. Actors and the role of integrity. Clark Gable, the King of Hollywood, known worldwide for his role in Gone with the Wind, was a member of Beverly Hills Lodge No. 528. Despite his fame and fortune, Gable often retreated to Masonic meetings, where he was just Brother Clark, seeking grounding and humility among equals. In interviews, Gable said that the lessons of the square and compass, discipline, honesty, compassion, helped him survive the temptations and pressures of Hollywood. John Wayne, the American film icon, wore the symbol openly, crediting Masonic principles for shaping his sense of justice and duty. Wayne's on-screen persona of strength, but also integrity, reflected the balance the square and compass teaches. The true measure of a person is found not in their legend, but in their character. Athletes and the quest for greatness. Shaquille O'Neal, basketball legend and media personality, was raised as a master Mason in the early 2000s. For Shaq, who grew up in challenging circumstances, the Brotherhood offered discipline and structure. "I love what it stands for. Brotherhood, charity, being a man of your word," Shaq once said, showing off his Masonic tattoo, a square and compass, on his arm. The values of the craft, he explained, helped him stay humble, give back to his community, and remember that greatness starts with service. The spiritual challenge behind fame. What unites these celebrities across centuries and backgrounds? All faced the trials of public life, pressure, temptation, the risk of losing themselves in the glare of fame. But the square and compass called them back to something deeper, an ancient challenge. Build your life true, let your dreams reach high. Stand for something greater than yourself. The spiritual side of the symbol was, for many, a shield against ego and a path to transformation. It is said that in Masonic ritual, the initiate stands in darkness before being brought to light, a powerful metaphor for the journey every human takes from confusion to clarity, from fear to faith. Secret stories and quiet reflections. There are countless stories, often untold, of moments when the square and compass offered guidance to those in the spotlight. Louis Armstrong, jazz legend and Mason, would sometimes pause before a performance, touching his ring and whispering a short prayer for balance and gratitude. Harry Houdini, world-famous magician, kept a square and compass in his dressing room, believing that its energy protected him from harm and gave him courage to attempt the impossible. Prince Hall, a black abolitionist and founder of Prince Hall Masonry, wore the symbol as a sign of hope and dignity in a time of injustice, inspiring generations to pursue education and freedom. These are not tales of secret power, but of spiritual strength. The square and compass were not magic amulets, but constant reminders. In the end, it is not the applause of the world, but the quiet approval of one's conscience that matters most. Reflection. What does this symbol mean for you? You don't have to be a celebrity to let the square and compass change your life. Like Franklin, ask yourself each day, am I building on a true foundation? Like Nat King Cole, can I find unity and hope, even when the world divides? Like Shaquille O'Neal, will I use my gifts to serve others, not just myself? Let this symbol be your guide. The square, ground yourself in virtue and truth. The compass, aspire to higher wisdom and love. And in the space between, find your own purpose. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Secret Sign Society for more. What celebrity did you never imagine was a Mason? What does the square and compass mean to you? Share your thoughts below. The real secret is what you do with the knowledge you find. The journey continues. The symbol endures. And the greatest story is the one you live each day. Even after the world changed, after empires fell, after music and movies became the new language of humanity, the square and compass did not disappear. Instead, they became part of the secret architecture behind many remarkable lives. As new generations rose, some famous, some infamous, the symbol found its way into unexpected places, sometimes hidden in plain sight, sometimes boldly displayed as a mark of personal code. From silence to song, the power of music. Take the story of Duke Ellington, one of the greatest jazz composers and band leaders of the 20th century. Ellington grew up in an era when being a black artist meant facing prejudice at every turn, but also when fraternal lodges and secret societies offered a place to belong. Initiated into Prince Hall Masonry, Ellington once said the discipline and unity he learned in the lodge influenced not only his music, but his whole approach to life. In quiet moments before concerts, he would sit backstage, turning his Masonic ring, focusing on the square and compass, reminding himself to play with integrity, to honor every musician in his band, and to trust in the larger harmony of the universe. Ellington believed the square and compass were more than symbols. They were a song, a spiritual rhythm, guiding every note he played, every word he spoke, every choice he made. The silver screen and silent oaths. Not all Masons wore their affiliation openly. Gene Autry, America's beloved singing cowboy, was raised as a master Mason and a Shriner. In the cutthroat world of entertainment, Autry credited his success to two things: hard work and living by the principles of the square and compass. He donated millions to charity, sponsored children's hospitals, and insisted on fairness in his contracts, often citing Masonic teachings as his guide. Cecil B. DeMille, legendary director of The Ten Commandments, filled his films with spiritual themes and symbolic imagery. Friends reported that DeMille, a Mason himself, sometimes placed a square and compass prop in the background of sets, not as an inside joke, but as a personal reminder that even in fiction, the search for truth and balance never ends. Faith, fame, and the burden of secrets. With fame comes scrutiny, and sometimes suspicion. Richard Pryor, the iconic comedian, was a Prince Hall Mason, finding both comfort and accountability in lodge meetings. For Pryor, the Brotherhood offered a space where he could be vulnerable, process pain, and rebuild after public scandals. He once joked in an interview, "You think Hollywood is tough? Try telling the truth in a room full of brothers." Pryor spoke of the square and compass as a spiritual compass, helping him forgive, grow, and face the world without hiding. Not every celebrity experience was easy. Oscar Wilde, the legendary Irish playwright and wit, was rumored, but never confirmed, to have had Masonic ties during his time at Oxford. Some biographers claim that Wilde admired the symbol's duality, rigor and imagination, discipline and freedom, and echoed its themes in his writing. Wilde's own struggles with identity, society, and redemption are often seen as a reflection of the square and compass, seeking harmony between the self and the world. The symbol in politics and revolution. Across history, leaders turned to the square and compass for inspiration and, sometimes, for controversy. Simón Bolívar, the great South American liberator, is said to have been a Mason, as were many revolutionary thinkers of his era. The struggle for independence in Latin America was marked by secret meetings, coded correspondence, and rituals, often centered on Masonic ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Bolívar's quest was not only for political freedom, but for a society grounded in virtue. In his journals, he wrote of building a nation as a Mason builds a temple, with patience, with vision, and with faith in the unseen. Franklin D. Roosevelt, U.S. President during the Great Depression and World War II, was a lifelong Mason, initiated at Holland Lodge No. 8 in New York. Roosevelt's speeches often drew on Masonic imagery. We must build with the square of truth and the compass of tolerance. During his presidency, Roosevelt would sometimes pause before big decisions, holding a coin engraved with the square and compass, reminding himself of the oath to serve all, not just the privileged few. The personal transformations. When the symbol saves, sometimes the square and compass appeared at moments of crisis, shaping lives in ways the public never saw. Harry S. Truman, another U.S. president and a devoted Mason, often spoke about how the fraternity and its teachings kept him grounded amid the pressures of leadership. During the harrowing days of World War II, as the fate of millions rested on his decisions, Truman kept a Masonic Bible on his desk and reflected each night on how to square his actions and compass his heart. For Michael Richards, best known as Kramer from Seinfeld, rumors of his connection to Masonry grew after interviews where he described a deep search for meaning after personal controversy. Though never confirmed as a member, Richards spoke of finding balance and a new code that helped him recover from public mistakes, a story that resonates with the spirit of the square and compass. Sacred geometry in the arts. The influence of the square and compass goes beyond personal lives. It shaped artistic and architectural masterpieces across centuries. The cathedrals of Europe, the jazz clubs of New Orleans, even the skyline of modern cities. Many of their creators were guided by principles of sacred geometry. Famous architect Sir Christopher Wren, designer of St. Paul's Cathedral in London, was a Grand Master of the premier Grand Lodge of England. Wren's blueprints were filled with hidden meanings, aligning doors, domes, and towers according to ancient ratios. For Wren and many of his contemporaries, the square and compass were not only symbols of spiritual truth, but actual tools for bringing beauty and harmony into the world. Artists like Duke Ellington, writers like Mark Twain, also a Mason, and even scientists like Edwin Buzz Aldrin, the second man to walk on the moon and a Mason, carried this symbol in their lives and work, connecting earth and sky, action and vision, with every step. Spiritual lessons for all. So what can we learn from these real stories of celebrities and the square and compass? Behind every legend, there is a human story, a struggle for meaning, a need for balance, a longing for truth. The square and compass appear not as a magic charm, but as a daily challenge. Am I building my life with honesty and care? Do I let my dreams expand my boundaries without losing my foundation? When I fail, do I have the courage to try again? The square and compass are reminders. The temple you build is yourself. The true secret is not what you wear, but what you become. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to Secret Science Society. What symbol inspires you? Have you seen the square and compass in surprising places? Leave a comment below. Your story might be the next to inspire others. As we move deeper into the secret world of symbols, something remarkable becomes clear. The square and compass is not just the property of ancient lodges or distant celebrities. It lives in the spaces between public and private, between fame and solitude, between what is shown and what is truly lived. For every famous Mason who has spoken openly, there are many more who carry the symbol quietly, guiding their choices, shaping their destinies, reminding themselves that success without substance is emptiness. The invisible influence. Silent builders. Consider the artists and creators whose names may not be known worldwide, but whose works touch millions every day. Samuel Morse, the inventor of the telegraph and Morse code, was a proud Mason. The discipline, logic, and vision he learned from the fraternity helped him persevere through years of skepticism and failure. Morse once described the square and compass as his reminder that no message is truly lost if sent with purpose and clarity. Irving Berlin, who gave the world timeless songs like White Christmas and God Bless America, quietly attended lodge meetings even at the height of his career. He believed that the best music, like the best life, is built on a true foundation. Modern day. The symbol in the spotlight. Today, in a world of social media and constant visibility, the square and compass appear in new and unexpected places. Some celebrities choose to display the symbol as a statement of identity and values. For others, the lessons of the lodge remain an inner compass, guiding them away from scandal and toward service. Brad Paisley, the country music star, became a Freemason to honor his grandfather. For Paisley, Masonry was a way to stay connected to family, history, and the timeless search for balance in the chaos of the entertainment industry. In interviews, Paisley has spoken of the square and compass as a map for the soul, helping you remember who you are when the world tries to make you something else. Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, is known for his innovation and technical brilliance, but less known is his admiration for Masonic values and traditions. Wozniak has supported Masonic charities and described their teachings as a foundation for innovation with conscience. When the symbol saves, not all stories are about triumph. Some are about redemption, humility, and the courage to start over. Richard Pryor, after facing addiction and public downfall, credited Masonic principles with helping him rebuild his life from the ground up. Everybody wants to be a star, Pryor once said, but not everyone wants to do the work inside. The square reminds you to get it right. The compass gives you permission to dream again. For many, the square and compass are a quiet source of hope in dark moments. Lodges around the world have supported members through illness, loss, grief, and despair. Charity is a core Masonic value, not only money, but time, friendship, and guidance offered freely. The hidden symbol in pop culture. Sometimes the symbol appears as a mystery in movies, books, and art, igniting curiosity and sparking new seekers. In the blockbuster National Treasure, the square and compass guide the heroes through hidden chambers and ancient riddles, reminding audiences that the real treasure is knowledge and understanding. In the Da Vinci Code, viewers debate whether symbols like the square and compass hold the key to ancient secrets, blurring the lines between fiction and reality. Even in video games, comics, and street art, the square and compass pop up, sometimes as Easter eggs, sometimes as hidden messages for those who know where to look. A symbol for all. The spiritual invitation. So what do these stories mean for you? The square and compass invites every person, famous or not, to become a builder, to lay a foundation of honesty and purpose, to reach for wisdom and imagination, to hold fast when storms come, and to help others build when their walls fall. The symbol is not about exclusion, but about calling the best out of each of us. It reminds us that every day is a chance to choose. Will I square my actions to my ideals? Will I use my compass to expand my world? Reflection and challenge. What will you build? History is full of symbols. Some fade with time, but others remain because they speak to the deepest parts of us. The square and compass endure not because of power or secrecy, but because they call to our need for meaning and balance. As you finish this story, look around your life. Where do you see the need for a stronger foundation? Where can you allow yourself to dream bigger, to forgive, to start over? And remember, the most important temple you will ever build is your own soul. Let the square and compass guide you, not to perfection, but to progress, to growth, to the spiritual strength that quietly shapes the world, one act, one hope, one day at a time. Final message, the Secret Sign Society. If this story inspired you, don't let the journey stop here. Subscribe to Secret Sign Society for more mysteries, more true stories, more tools for your spiritual path. Leave your reflections in the comments. Which celebrity story surprised you? How do you see the square and compass in your own life? What are you building today that will last beyond tomorrow? Remember, symbols are powerful because they point beyond themselves, toward the truth each of us must discover. May your actions be true, your dreams be vast, and your heart be open to every lesson life brings. The story continues. The light endures. And somewhere, right now, another seeker is drawing their first square, opening their first compass, and beginning the adventure of a lifetime.